Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm David Tennant. In the news this week, in Sydney, following the Australian Labor Party's surprise victory, the Culture Minister allows herself a small celebration. Dyson admits that their latest batch of hand dryers might need the power notching down a bit.
That actually looks like the TARDIS.
Yeah. Flies more smoothly. And in Leatherhead, hidden camera footage reveals to MI5 how the network of Bulgarian spies were exchanging secret information. On Ian's team tonight is a broadcaster who admits that she is always 10 minutes late for everything. So please welcome the host of Channel 4's News at 7:10, Cathy Newman. On Paul's team tonight, a comedian and actor who recently appeared in a film with George Clooney. Acting opposite a global sex symbol was challenging, but in the end, Clooney managed to gabble out his lines. Please welcome Jupp. So we begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Miles, here's yours.
Yes. Oh, obviously, Donald Trump and Keir Starmer, we're the first country that have agreed a deal with. There's probably Keir Starmer and Donald Trump talking via the telephonic communications. And you've robbed the quiz element there. White smoke, new paper, I believe, might be the story on that one. So, yes, we've got a trade deal, and there is a new pope, which I was extremely surprised that it wasn't me, because I'd been led to believe that it would be me. I've had the costume fitting and everything. But apparently it's somebody else.
Yes, indeed. It's the news that the long-awaited UK-US trade deal was rather gazumped by the election of a new pope.
Yes.
I mean, Starmer didn't seem to be aware that it was happening until about 5 minutes before it did.
Yeah, but he doesn't know he lost the election.
And also, when Trump was pressing that button in the Oval Office, wasn't he just ordering a Coke, after all?
Well, there are other worse buttons he could be pressing. So I think, yes, Starmer sort of said that he got called watching Arsenal football team, North London, while watching a game that they were playing.
I'm indebted to you.
Thank you, Your Honour. And so, yeah, he got a call while he was watching the match, which he wasn't happy with.
But, you know, it's very good that he didn't get a call the night before, because I happen to know he was at a romantic dinner with his wife, and I know because I was there too.
Oh, really? Really? That is romantic.
How romantic was it?
Yeah.
Well, I was having a dinner with a contact, and in walked Keir and his wife, Victoria. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let them get on with it for a bit, and then wandered over and had a chat. I mean...
That's the form, is it? They've made some sort of signal to say to the waiter, could you invite the other couple over now? We've had quite enough of the eating bit. What about the lady from the news? We both like her. Yeah.
I mean, as soon as his security team ordered the main course, I was like, right, come on, let's get at it then. So...
You really are a proper journalist.
Well, no wonder he had a smile on his face. I thought he had something to do with the trade agreement.
Your mind is too filthy to be Pope. That's the problem with you. It's true, though, isn't it?
I think you should look into the history of the popes.
Anyway, I got a scoop. Anyway, the scoop is that it was their 18th wedding anniversary, which is China, not the country, you know. And a gift of a mug was exchanged.
Was that the public? No.
Well, Trump has described this deal...
Yeah. Oh, thanks for bringing us back to the news.
Yes. That is what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Trump has described it as full and comprehensive and includes third-party fire and theft, but only if you've got locks on all your downstairs windows. What's the deal going to achieve? Do we know any of the details?
Or it'll change everything.
Will it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Has the price of DVDs gone up?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Through the roof.
Will this affect book tokens?
There's still a 10% baseline tariff, though. So,
on everything?
Yeah.
25% tariff on steel's gone.
Yes, but then it was only imposed fairly recently.
Sure.
So we've got a better deal than we had last time Trump said anything.
You're right.
But Keir Starmer said the way to look at it is that are things better today than they were yesterday? And he said they are.
Yeah, but not better than they were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's... But I want to know, is it going to be better tomorrow? Because, I mean, we could be, you know, there could be nuclear war tomorrow.
Well, you're fun.
You're doing the country down, essentially, whilst talking to secret sources in restaurants, watching other people's dates.
Do you know what?
People exchanging crockery.
In other news, Donald Trump has also claimed he's going to bring something back. What's he going to...
Oh, sexy.
Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Alcatraz, that's
And somebody
right.
worked out that on the local TV station where he was there that night, Palm Springs, whatever, was showing the film Escape from Alcatraz. So he sees something on television and says, yeah, we should bring that back.
Yes.
Let's hope he's not watching any World War II documentary.
Yes, Donald Trump called for the reopening of Alcatraz prison for vicious, repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society, who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. In you go, Donald. Close the door behind you. But it was still only Tuesday.
It was
So Donald decided to make another announcement to do with
Yes.
the British film industry.
Yeah, oh, he's going to tariff on films not made in America.
Yes, this could have very serious impact on the British film industry. For instance, the long-awaited new James Bond film may now not be made in the UK, but will instead not be made in the US. But I hope the James Bond franchise isn't affected, because you were really looking forward to taking that on, weren't you, Miles?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I haven't started the training yet, but I've read a couple of books about spying, and God, it's dangerous. You wear a suit, a lot of it's done by gadgets, apparently, there's green screen, and no, look, I shouldn't really be talking about it, but I am really looking forward to it.
Well, as are we. Let's hope.
It'd be a different Bond, wouldn't it? Would you mind awfully if I just shot you?
I'd be the sort of James Bond that suggests a lot of this could be done remotely, I think.
Why is May the 4th significant in the film world?
Oh, Star Wars.
Yes, indeed.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. To mark that day, Donald Trump posted this AI-generated image on the official White House X account. What did Star Wars enthusiasts pick up that's specific about that picture?
Oh, there'll be some mistake, won't there?
He's got a particular type of lightsaber.
That's it.
Which is made from steel and has a tariff of over...
Well, it's also that it's red.
Yeah,
And
not
only
blue.
the Sith, that's the baddies, have red lightsabers. So is that a mistake, or is he trying to tell us? I don't know.
Someone in his press office hates him.
Not the only one.
He also made himself Pope, didn't he?
Well, yes. Let's take a look at him as the Pope. Here he is.
It'll be the Archbishop of Canterbury next, won't it? Maybe not big enough for him.
Doesn't want to be shouted at by Ian at parties.
Yes, it was quite a week for the Catholic Church as they got a new Pope and a new Antichrist.
I was just looking at that picture of Donald Trump as the Pope, and the fact that somebody would reduce themselves to try and extract comedy out of being the new Pope, I think is very sad. Rather desperate, actually.
But it is an American. So there must have been a second when the news came through when Donald thought, it is me.
Robert Prevost
right.
has
He's
become...
American, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
First one ever, and he's become Pope Leo the 14th.
He was quite emotional, wasn't he, the new Pope?
Yes? What did he say?
I mean, you would have been if it had been you.
Yeah, certainly. There's no point in me talking about it now. It just sounds like sour grapes. Now this Yank's got it. I just want to say I've always believed in Jesus.
So, yes, this is the UK's trade deal with the US. Hopes had been growing for weeks of a possible trade deal between the US and the UK, although on Wednesday, Donald Trump tweeted that it was with a highly respected country, which threw us all off the scent a little bit. The UK ambassador to Washington, Lord Peter Mandelson, was in the White House for the announcement of the deal, leading to a touching reunion with Donald Trump. They hadn't seen each other since that party on Epstein's Island.
we'll visit you in Alcatraz.
According to The Independent, the new trade deal with India is expected to make entry into the UK easier for Indian chefs and yogis. Which is great news unless you're carrying a delicious picnic basket.
Are you auditioning for something?
It was like he was in the room, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Ian and Cathy, here's your story of the week.
Local elections.
Local elections, bin collection. There's Farage, who's won, and then coming back tonight, who didn't win.
Exactly.
And that's Keir Starmer.
The Royal Air Force has downgraded over the years, isn't it?
Yeah. This is presumably the elections, the local elections, the mayoral elections, the by-election.
Indeed.
It was an earthquake. I mean, according to Reform, life will never be the same again.
Well, it's the end of the Conservatives, they say.
Yeah, but it's the end of the two-party system. It's the start of a new era. It's Nigergeddon. Or something.
When was the moment that Nigel Farage realised he was onto something big?
Well, he was on his way to Durham, wasn't he? Which is pretty big, being, you know, winning in Durham, which is Labour heartland.
Well, apparently he noticed that as he walked down Ormskirk High Street, there were far fewer abusive shouts than there used to be. Come on, Ormskirk, pull your finger out. Here's a fun question. Who was once MP for Ormskirk and Nigel's predecessor as boss of UKIP? He used to be on the telly a fair bit.
Robert Kilroy-Silk.
There you go,
yes.
yes. Let's remind ourselves of some of his best work.
Their fate will be in each other's hands as they decide whether to share or to shaft.
Can I say, it just goes to show that orange right-wingers are nothing new.
Not the only Reform supporter with a career in television. Would you like to see presenter Steve Miller at work?
Yes, please.
please.
Yeah. Here he is with a sensitive take on the health crisis. This is from Sky's Fat Families.
I'm in Telford, Shropshire, and I'm about to meet one of the fattest families I've met in my life. I'm here in the Peak District and about to meet two massive fatty siblings who are at the peak of their porkiness. I'm going to be meeting some beach blubber bellies. I'm in Luton, Bedfordshire, and about to meet three jelly-bellied jumbos. It's Mr. and Mrs. Massive Fatty.
That is an unfortunate name, though, isn't it? I mean...
How did Kemi Badenoch respond to the results?
She said it was a bloodbath.
Yes, she said, I apologise for the bloodbath. Well. There's not an awful lot else you can do about a bloodbath, is there?
Well, you could clean up after yourself.
Yeah. And what was Keir Starmer's reaction to the results?
He was surprisingly unbothered, given that they did nearly as bad, not quite as bad as the Conservatives, though.
Well, he's got a long time until the next election. He's got a large majority.
Yeah.
He's got a new mug. I mean, what a week.
Yeah.
He said, I get it, we need to go further.
Whereas a lot of his MPs, members of the Cabinet, were saying, why don't you scrap the cut on winter fuel allowance? And he said, because that would be a good idea. No, he didn't say that.
There was one Labour campaigner suggested to The Guardian it was more a protest vote against Labour than a positive vote for reform. What evidence did she use for this, do you know?
That is what politicians always say. It's just a protest vote.
Well, it was actually spoilt ballot papers. She told The Guardian, I've never seen so many drawings of penises.
Andrea Jenkins, who's now Mayor of Lincolnshire for Reform, she's the queen of graphic gestures, isn't she? In fact, there's a sort of cycle of rude gestures, one involving a finger and one involving a tongue, sometimes together.
Wow.
Does she do this over dinner?
We've got that. Have a look.
Oh, that's good.
There she is.
I'm going to come first.
Somebody's pissed up that wall behind her. And I'm looking at the man in the brown shorts behind her. Oh, excuse me.
There have already been quite a few war on woke statements of intent from reform, but they tend to be hitting the brick wall of reality. The Mayor of Lincolnshire, Andrea Jenkins, pledged to fire all diversity, equality and inclusion officers, but there aren't actually any in Lincolnshire County Council. So there's nobody to fire.
Just proves how quickly she works.
But the Conservatives were hoping to fight their own war on woke. They've been talking about the banter ban. What's all that about, then?
That's the man of 1,000 voices. Toby Bear, Cockneys, Donald Trump.
That's about the employment bill, isn't it?
Exactly. Suppose you run a pub, Miles.
I think we can all picture it.
Yes.
Ah, mine host.
The usual Ian, yes. Can of Red Stripe under the counter, served after 11:20. Yes. Sorry, yeah, anyway, this pub I run.
You run a pub and say one of your bar staff overhears a joke or a bit of bants that they don't like. They can take legal action against you for not protecting them from harmful material.
So actually no speaking at all allowed in my pub.
Quiet reflection.
Yeah, it's kind of mindful. There's a gong bath on Thursdays. That's probably the really rowdy night, yeah. Otherwise, people just sort of silently thinking about where it's all gone wrong. It's not so different from a Wetherspoons in an afternoon.
Meanwhile, what better combination of people to discuss the VE commemorations than Rylan and Emma Willis? They were hoping to rope in some of the survivors of World War II to their cosy chit-chat. Let's have a look what happened.
Thank you all
Good morning, everyone.
so much
Morning.
for being with us today. It's an honour
It is.
to be sat with you and to hear your stories.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Should we start with you then, Gladys?
Well, I don't care.
That is the proper spirit, though.
And then they added in the magical ingredient of Giles Brandreth. Just keep your eyes on Rylan.
It is called barebacking. So, you know, like horse riding, where you ride bareback. So this is called barebacking for Gen Z, where they travel without anything.
I began doing this a few years ago, and I was called a raw dog. I said, why am I called a raw dog? You're living life in the raw.
Yeah.
And then finally, what is Tony Blair doing here?
Look what I found in my pocket.
Is he working for them as a lobbyist?
They were at a climate conference together.
A climate conference.
Yeah, obviously.
Right. And Tony was saying, don't worry about it, it's happening slowly.
Yeah.
That's not a very good impression.
I'm up against the master.
I know, he has raised the bar. He has raised the
I
bar.
would have said, hi, guys, don't go so fast on the net.
I love Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
He's good.
This is the local election results, which have, according to experts, brought Nigel Farage one step closer to number 10. Keir Starmer, talking at the VE Day commemoration event, said that we owe the veterans a debt that can never be fully repaid. You could start by giving them back their winter fuel allowance. Following their wipeout of the local elections, one Conservative MP commented, "The good ship Tory sometimes feels like the Titanic." To be fair, the Titanic had more survivors. After a good night for his party, Ed Davey announced that the Lib Dems were on their best ever winning streak. Oh, now Ed Davey's got the word streak in his head.
A big swing to the Lib Dem.
Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Ed Davey.
Yes.
Vladimir Putin.
Oh.
Tom Archer from the Archers. And Pliny the Elder.
Now, this might be just a coincidence, but the surname Archer, is that relevant to the final? Because, I mean, Putin's doing the two-fingered thing, which is something that English archers did at the Battle of Agincourt, I think.
It's got nothing to do with the Battle of Agincourt.
I thought on a topical news quiz it was unlikely. Mind you, we've got Pliny the Elder there, and he's the only one with a dead conguil on his head.
Tom Archer's wearing a gilet.
Yes.
I'd be amazed if Ed Davey doesn't own a gilet.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a clue. It's about a popular trendy drink.
Oh, Jaeger bombs. They all absolutely daft for the Jaeger bomb.
Yeah.
Apart from Ed Davey, because he still likes Aftershock. God, I had to dig that one out.
Think about it, good for your guts.
Oh,
yogurt.
yeasty filter kefir.
There we go. It's specifically kefir, yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the odd one out then?
Oh, Pliny the Elder.
Why is it Pliny the Elder?
Well, because it obviously, just look at him.
He's not got as diverse a microbiome as the other three.
That's exactly right.
That can't be the word for word.
They're all fans of fermented milk, apart from Pliny the Elder.
Fermented milk!
Yeah. Pliny the Elder was a fan of fermented cabbage.
Is that what kimchi is?
Kimchi, no, he's the leader of North Korea.
Pliny wrote a 37-book magnum opus.
Yeah, natural history.
There you go, which contains a chapter called The Cabbage 87 Remedies, which reveals how, when boiled and mixed with salt, cabbage can relieve gripings in the stomach, making him one of the earliest writers on record to advocate sauerkraut, the father of a large movement. Do you know any of the other 86 ways that Pliny recommended using cabbage?
No. It's a surprising answer.
He recorded that injecting warm cabbage juice into your ear could cure deafness.
Or cause it.
And washing your children in the warm urine of someone on a cabbage diet would make them grow big and strong.
And when they're teenagers, they'll beat the shit out of you for making them bathe in somebody else's piss.
Pliny the Elder did indeed die in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD.
Even cabbage couldn't save him.
Yeah.
No.
It was the second worst eruption in his lifetime. The first...
Absolutely love this.
What happened when Ed Davey drank fermented milk every day for 7 weeks?
He grew udders.
He lost 2 stone.
Lost 2 stone on fermented milk.
He saw the benefits after going on a diet that consisted largely of kefir and kimchi.
Yes.
All beginning with a K. Kombucha is another one.
Does it have quite a violent effect on the body? I remember I didn't really know what it was. I ordered someone in a cafe, and when I ordered it, they went, "Oh, you know that's a health drink." And I went, "Well, I'm sure it's fine." And then someone came back over with the thing and said, "Did one of you order the kombucha?" And I said, "I ordered it." They went, "You do know that's a health drink." And then when they bought it, they said, "Are you the kombucha?" I said, "Yeah." And they went, "You do know it's a health drink." And I said, I got the impression, I started with panic. I thought, this is going to clean me out within seconds or something. They're giving me at least so many warnings. Started moving other tables back, that sort of thing. People appeared in the periphery of my vision with mops and things.
Selling the business.
I'm definitely coming to your pub.
We'll all go.
Tied to the usual.
What happened when Radio 4's Tom Archer brought kefir to the village of Ambridge? Any Archer's followers?
There was Umbridge.
It's true. They didn't much like it. No. Tom Archer, described by The Guardian as a former sausage czar, once went to Brazil to research bacteria and came back to Borsetshire to launch his own kefir business. How do we know that Vladimir Putin likes fermented milk?
He's talked about it in interviews.
That's absolutely true.
What other answer could there be?
Yeah. Well, there's a new documentary celebrating Putin's 25 years in power, and it showed us a glimpse inside his Moscow apartment where he shared a glass of kefir with a journalist. Here he is.
Все российское, да?
Ну, конечно. А че же?
Спасибо, Миша.
It's polonium.
Cathy, you said you'd really like to interview Putin.
Yeah, I still would. But I've been banned from Russia now.
How does it arrive in a letter, or do you get...
They just did a list of journalists who were banned.
Who else has been banned then? Like Rylan and...
Vladimir Putin has given a journalist a rare tour of his Kremlin apartment, a flat. Let's just say I'd be surprised if the family upstairs let the kids learn a musical instrument. Showing off his fridge, Vladimir Putin revealed he was a big fan of fermented milk. It's just normal milk that he's looked at. Right, time for the missing words round. We start with Cathy in Dorset surprises customers by what?
Proving to be a gateway to Hades.
Relaunching E. coli.
Cathy in Dorset surprises customers by employing a robot waitress called Bella. Here is Bella, the robot, with her 2 human co-workers. Bella can respond to a number of situations. For example, she can say, "Wow, your hands are really warm," when she is touched. Something she learned from Gino de Campo. Next, what registers as 1.74 on the Richter scale?
Liverpool fan celebration.
He's absolutely right. Liverpool Premier League win. There you go. Tremor in Liverpool was so powerful that at the other end of the country, it was briefly jolting Arsenal fans awake.
What do you think Arsenal's chances are of winning the Champions League?
Well, they're up against Real Magnifico.
One of the great superheroes of our time.
I think they're going to cruise it, myself.
Yeah, they've been knocked out.
I've got... I do love this banter.
What's that all about, then?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke.
But that brings us to the final scores. Paul and Miles have 4, Ian and Cathy have 6. We just have time for the caption competition.
So, ladies, here we are.
Ladies, I was thinking maybe sushi.
My friends call me Jacob Rees-Mogg.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Cathy Newman, Paul Merton and Miles Jupp. And I leave you with news that at Tate Modern, a new sculpture is revealed inspired by how voters feel about Labour's first year in government. After leaving his glasses at home, an embarrassed King Charles has to apologise for his mistake when posting a letter. And in Whitby, excitement gave way to disappointment after a sighting of the UK's biggest cockle turned out to be a false alarm. Good night.
Every radio phone-in should sound like this. Company call Jonathan Pye. All episodes on BBC Sounds now. While a murder case dredges up old crimes and lost loves. Press red for the one that got away on iPlayer. Next, with his books being pulped, Julian's forced to take action. Here's Austin.